It even works with the sex thing because, like, a woman in the workplace, they legislate against any type of sexual harassment. That you can't legislate against a guy looking at a woman's tits or ass or thinking she's attractive. That's something that won't go away. And when women talk about things like, we don't want to be looked at as a sex symbol. No, you don't want it to come out verbally or between two guys talking or overhear something or see something that was left in someone's cubicle, because you can't make it stop. It's not going to stop. And it's the same thing with race.
Wow,
it's the same thing with, religion.
You make a really good point there. I think every single human being, without exception, wants to be looked at as a sex symbol.
Probably, yeah.
So if when whatever, I was going to talk about,
some skirt.
I was going to no. I mean, when someone says something about myself, it makes me feel, I'm like, whoa, okay.
Everyone likes
but you got to be used to it by now.
Like that.
I'm just trying to be careful about what I'm saying. But I think even women, man, when they could go to work with their cleavage hanging out and their short skirts and their ass popped up.
Yep.
They want guys and maybe if they're into women, whatever, gawking, going, oh, damn, look at that. And they feel good, like, yeah, see, I still got it. And people find me sexy and sexual.
Don't you think that gives somebody a feeling of power? And then if someone uses that and you feel you're being sexually harassed, that gives you even more power.
I just want to clarify for the audience, too, if they're listening, that this is not 1957. We are in 2013. I just wanted people to know that they had
Unfortunately.
But Ann made a really good point there. Like, everyone wants that, but as soon as you vocalize that,
right, then there's an
then
issue.
You're fucked. And obviously you can't, say something over the top ridiculous. But even if you say, you kind of said it, even if it's just a subtle little dumb thing. You might even go, oh, I like your dress today. That could be enough to get you in the HR office.
And in the 50s, it was like you would have had to have, get up here on my lap and take some dictation.
I think as long as you're not showing skin, meaning your own dick, back in the day, you're all right. Anything else goes.
Yeah, but the reason we have, and believe me, I get annoyed at it too, but the reason we have stuff like forced diversity and all that shit is because it wasn't done voluntarily. And I agree with you about it's natural to want to be with your own people because we're scared. But it's also natural to club people over the head. We're apes. It's natural to just take pussy. It's natural to shit in public.
Thank you.
All these things are a learned behavior that we.
Inside the expressway.
But you know what I mean? It's, when you live in a civilized or comfortable place,
it's just
a lot of what's natural has to be overridden, kind of, and.
It's just the speed we want it. It's just the speed we want it to happen.
That's true, but that's the problem, because you can't legislate the way people feel. You can't legislate against prejudice. You can't legislate against sexist thoughts. So that's what makes the conflict, because people are still feeling that. They're still thinking that. It's like, oh, we want to be respected. Well, you can't make someone respect you. You can't make someone like you. It's just the way it is. And I think there's that phoniness that comes with, pushing it on people that is so annoying.
Yeah. But stuff like what happens is, if it wasn't, you can't legislate the emotions and the feelings, but you can legislate penalties for not behaving a certain way.
Absolutely. And that's why there's more diversity in the workplace. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing in that respect. But you're not going to make people like other people, want to work with other people, not look at a woman's fucking tits or ass when she walks by. So the whole thing is in essence a lie.
But then every woman should go to work in a potato sack.
Oh, sexy!
But I'm serious. I mean, we see it
I'll put
here.
My potatoes in there.
We see it here. How some of the women dress. But man, they're trying to be sexual, but if you say anything that is sexual, you're fucked.
And everyone's petrified. Like everyone knows not to say anything anymore. Yeah. You don't, it's not like the old days where fucking some girls walking down the hall and you go, woo! That would get you fucked right there.
Right. Look,
and everyone knows that.
Look, man, cleavage, creates boners, period.
Cleavage creates boners.
It just does.
That's great.
But it does.
Of course it does.
But we're not allowed to, show any sign that maybe that was some kind of, a natural turn on to the man.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
If companies had fired people who really were being shitty about it, they probably would. We wouldn't be in this place. No, that's what. But it's giant. It's all lawsuits. It's all because companies allowed a guy who was doing it, who was actually a good worker, to continue to stay even after he had a terrible history of harassing women. So all that, and that's why women are winning all this money in these lawsuits. So had that not happened, had companies done the right thing and fucking fired guys who were truly scumbags, we probably wouldn't be in this place. Had fucking schools not been forced by the with the National Guard to let certain other citizens into them in this great place of diversity, we probably wouldn't have diversity forced down our throats. But because every time it's happened, it's had to be forced and through the courts, you build up that. I guess that pattern of behavior where it has to be forced or it has to be legislated. When was it done voluntarily?
I understand all that. It's just I still don't see the upside to it. I mean, maybe way down the line in the future there'll be some weird cosmic upside to it, but it just seems to me that every word that goes along with diversity is this negative thing,
of course,
where it must be tolerated. We need tolerance, acceptance. These are things that people don't want to do.
Those are nice words, though.
To tolerate something is not to like it.
You don't like it.
Yeah. You don't
have to tolerate it.
Yeah, it must be tolerated.
Like it was Brussels sprouts for us. We had to tolerate eating Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, no one really thinks that when it's like we need to show tolerance with this or that or the other thing. No one really looks at the word. The word isn't something that people want to do.
Tolerate is a horrible word.
Oh, I tolerate it.
Right. We were forced to eat shit growing up, and we had to tolerate it.
Yeah.
By the way, remember when I said everyone wants to be looked at sexually? I forgot one group of people, and we got one on the line. Lexi in Maryland. Lexi.
Hey guys, how are you?
Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
I'm a business professional. I have an MBA, and I want to be looked at as a
in the NBA.
You want to be what looked at?
I want to be looked at as a colleague. I don't want to be looked at as a sexual being. And you also have to remember, people have different histories. I was sexually abused as a child. If you look at me as
goodness gracious. Oh boy. Hey, Lexi.
What were you saying? I'm sorry. Something happened.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. I love the apology.
Yes.
Now, what were you saying? You were sexually abused as a child, so obviously you don't want to be looked at sexually.
Exactly, because it causes a trigger for me. And you have to remember, 1 in 4 girls are sexually abused by the time they're 18.
We'll get those stats up. I'm sorry.
1 in 4 girls are sexually abused by the age of 18.
But Lexi raises a good point. I'm not a woman, but you think of some female lawyer in court wants people looking at her, or wherever you are, it's got to be irritating after a while.
It's basic human nature to want to be looked at as an attractive
person,
being.
Absolutely.
Right? Like Lexi.
But let me ask, because maybe you're on the same path.
Yeah.
Lexi, so now we understand your history. How do you go to work then? You must dress really, really conservative.
Suit of armor.
No, I don't dress conservatively. I dress in clothes that appropriately fit my body. However, I'm not at work to be leered at. I'm not, I don't walk out of the house.
But if you have a tight skirt on and you're showing a little cleavage, guys can't we can't help ourselves. That's attractive to us.
I understand.
So you are going to be looked at sexually. Maybe people aren't going to verbalize that, but it absolutely is happening around you.
Mm-hmm.
I understand. I just wanted to clarify that not everybody wants to be looked at sexually. I do not want to be looked at sexually.
Fair enough.
Because of my history.
But Lexi, do you want to be looked at as, wow, that's an attractive woman?
I think I take care of myself. I think that I'm very presentable, and everybody wants to be presentable.
Right, but doesn't it feel good that somebody would look at you, regardless, a man, a woman, a child, anyway, would look at you and think that you're handsome or pretty or don't you want that? Isn't that a basic human thing?
I think that we all strive for that we all strive to put on our best.
Right.
Face.
Sort of what we're saying.
However, whenever you're saying that everybody wants to be looked at sexually, that is not true.
Well, guys are looking at women, but you're saying not every woman wants to be looked at sexually.
My mistake was saying every single person, but the majority of people certainly want to be looked at sexually.
Okay, so we all do. But how do you feel? Hold on, Lexi. Opie and I go to the same gym. How do you feel like when that creepy guy is around? Do you feel sexy when he looks at you? Like, but you know what I'm saying? I got a vibe from those guys in the gym. I'm like, ugh.
Really?
It makes me enraged when I know that guy's trying to look at my ass.
It doesn't enrage me. It makes me laugh because I find the humor in that. But I'm not bothered by it.
But if you were working with that guy and he was fucking like for real, you'd hate his guts.
I'd be all right. I mean,
I'd
be
be every guy, not just that guy.
Whatever, man. Then I got it going on.
That gave me an insight, dude. That fucking feeling that in the gym, in the locker room, a guy trying to look at my dick. It just it made me so fucking angry, and it shouldn't have. But it really annoyed me.
It doesn't bother me because I know I'm not doing anything about it. Like, you know.
Oh, his sneaky little peeks. I was wanting to go, what? Fucking cocksucker, what?
It makes me giggle.
You're fighting nature again, though, too. I mean, you know, girls like Lexi, you're fighting basic human nature. There's that animal instinct of a man that looks at a woman and sees her as a sexual being, you know?
But we have, you know what? But certain women at work would go, tough shit. It's the same as a guy who robs you going, animal instinct. I see what I want and I take it.
Well, okay. And animal instinct, I'll turn around and shoot you in the face.
But you don't know, but you don't.
Defending my fucking kill.
But the point is, you're right. But you can't think of it that way.
But as humans, we like to think we're much further advanced than that. So we put on this facade, and we fake that we're tolerant, and we fake that we're not these sexual beings, and we're not oogling at these girls that might come to work a little scantily clad. It's this fucking charade that goes on where it's not sincere. It's just like
it's not working.
It's just like the apologies we see on the news from people that use language that they completely mean and were sincere when they said it in the first place. It's a big fucking lie.
Everyone's lying to each other. It's not working.
Right.
We're making believe there's diversity.
Exactly.
I completely agree with that.
Correctamundo.
And as far as I can handle myself, so I don't care if the guy, I laugh at that. I giggle.
It annoyed me.
It just makes me giggle.
It's hilarious. You put his dick in your mouth, you laugh, you laugh.
No, dude, that's the first time I ever felt that way. Like, it really was like, it made me angry just because I don't like this guy's vibe.
Wow. Did you pull your towel a little tighter?
No, but I wanted to say something really.
Call him a masher.
Like, I'm such a fucking, and I see him almost every day, and I wanted to say something nasty. Like, fucking, like.
You should then. Fuck it.
No, because I don't know if it's my own imagination, and it's like, again, it was like, it's not worth
fantasizing.
Yeah, you can't prove anything. It's like, he hasn't done anything. I just know I'm getting irritated. So if dealing with that all the time from every colleague or 90% of the colleagues would be fucking, because it was unwanted attention.
Do you understand this guy creeped out Jimmy people? I just want to really put that forward.
You should walk around with a raging heart on and basically saying, you can't have this. And let him watch him lose his fuking mind. A lot of people want to argue with Lexi. I hope I picked the right guy here. We'll go with William in Jersey. You're on with Lexi. Go ahead.
Bill.
Hey, heads up, thanks. Hey, how's it going? The reality is that, this is really a subjective question. If Lexi's looking hot and she's at work and a really good-looking guy who's interested in her might be flirting with her, she might be like, oh, very nice, very nice. It might even, she might even go back and flirt back. But if it's a fucking troll, Big A or someone like that flirting,
poor Big A.
It's an HR issue. And that's really the problem.
Wow, William, you make a great point. You make a great fucking point.
That's the really fucked up thing is that everyone wants to look hot, everyone wants to be desired, but they want to be desired subjectively by someone who they're attracted to or they're interested in, but you can't have it both ways.
Right.
You can't go into work looking hot and expect only the really good-looking guys that you're attracted to be interested in, everyone else to fucking walk away. It's clown shoes. Total bullshit.
It's clown shoes. I like that.
Shoes.
I hope people aren't confusing the issue here. What we started. I don't think it's okay for guys to just walk around and be like, "Hey, nice tits, honey." I'm talking about the subtle shit that'll get you in trouble.
And you can apply this idea of subjectivity to just about anything. Obviously, if you're an inner city, black kid and Jesse Jackson comes up to you and gives you some attention, because of your color, you're going to be like, yeah, all right. But if it's the police or something like that, you're not going to like it. So it's really, it's not just about, look how successful our politicians are catering and pandering to these smaller minority groups because they give them what they want and they're giving them the attention and they're powerful politicians, so they want that. But if it's someone else, no, I don't want it.
Let me ask you a question, and you raise a point about wanting someone attractive to flirt with you, of course. But the problem is the companies have over historically didn't fire people when I don't think anybody was suing because of light flirting. Hey, the ugly guy in the mailroom smiled at me and asked me out once. That's not what the lawsuits were about. The lawsuits were about when you like would read them, you go like, oof, like how the fuck did the company let that go on? That's where it became a problem.
Okay, but why is it then? Because that happened, then light flirting is not okay now.
Ask the companies.
I know that. I understand your point. There's times where, that's completely unacceptable. But what ends up happening is then they go, well, this particular thing, you can't pinch someone's hiney at the workplace, but now you can't even have a calendar up. You can't even say, pretty much say hi to a woman that's not in your department in the hallways.
It's gone way the other way.
Yeah, they wipe the whole thing out.
But that's companies. That's companies. That's individual companies.
Yeah, but
it's all companies at this point. It's not even individuals anymore.
Oh boy.
No. But I mean companies as like Sirius never talked to CBS. They're both doing the same thing though, as individual separate entities. Yeah. They all see the lawsuits and they're like nothing, zero tolerance.
But you're making my point because going back to the Halloween costumes. It's not. It was just one kid felt left out or alone that day. So, okay, now we have to wipe it out for everybody.
Right,
that's crazy.
Which goes back to the point that it's the fault of the people who are bending over irrationally.
And somehow we all got to speak up more. Getting back to that original point.
Yeah, this poor guy.
Sorry.
Or maybe the problem is because they're not speaking up enough. And what they're doing is that when a cute guy comes and hits on them, they let it go and let it happen because they have some interest in that person. But all of a sudden, when a guy maybe who maybe isn't as desirable, all of a sudden it's an issue. And what they're doing is they're selectively choosing who can flirt with them, and who can be inappropriate with.
Do you really think that's where? Do you really think that's the history of sexual harassment in the workplace? Like, I know what you're saying, man, but do you really believe that's where it comes from? A bunch of girls who weren't happy that it wasn't the cute guy? Like, you don't think that there was any pattern of tolerated bullshit? Like, you want your wife or girlfriend treated the way a lot of women have had to be treated? And I'm not talking about the overreacting woman who freaks out if you wink at her. But you really want I don't know if you're married or not.
If you walk into a woman's cubicle with your dick out the front of your pants, you need to be fired.
Well, yeah, but it's not even that extreme. No one does that. That's a crazy example.
Right.
Well, it probably started
that never went on.
What I'm saying, and how I agree with Anthony, is that human nature for men and women sexually, or human nature in regards to politics or whatever. Everyone wants to be liked. Everyone wants to be loved. Everyone wants to be viewed as being sexually powerful.
Are you?
And everyone wants to be protected.
Oh boy!
Wow, she's right.
Boy, look out!
Absolutely.
I forgot. Old Mrs. Glass Ceiling is fucking on the line here.
We forgot about
Christ.
her.
Wait, let Lexi respond to this guy. She hasn't said anything. Lexi, let Lexi respond to you.
Wow.
You have to remember that there is a time and a place for everything. The workplace is not a place to go pick up women. If you want to pick up women.
Oh, I don't know about that. The Oldster did pretty good back in the day.
Some numbers?
I put up some numbers at radio stations. I'm telling you right now, Lexi, you're absolutely wrong. I think there's a lot of guys rolling their eyes right now. They did very well in the workplace.
Yeah, absolutely.
You do very well. I said it's not the place that you go to pick up women.
But it happens.
Well, sometimes relationships are forged in the workplace.
Yeah, you've heard of happy hour, haven't you?
And now a lot of companies frown on that. And if you do have a relationship to develop into a marriage, one of the people has to leave.
That's a good point. There's a policy here. I think you're not allowed to date someone.
Oh,
you know what
me and
that
Jimmy
is?
have had to keep that quiet for years
Oh my God! You know
now.
how hard it is to just jerk each other off in the restroom real quick?
So you have a natural attraction to someone you work with, and these companies will not allow that to happen.
Right.
Thank you to workplace shootings and all that stuff. They don't want a relationship going wrong and having the whole environment being fucked up because two people are fighting or one guy gets violent or clingy, and then you break up, and then the dynamics at work are fucked up.
I know of someone that had to keep their workplace relationship very quiet around here.
Ooh, around here.
Yep.
Well, let me think.
I don't know if that person wants to speak up.
Roberts.
It's not my place to say who it is.
Sam and who kid?
It could be. I think I know who it is.
But they had a relationship going into Sirius XM. Even they didn't even meet at Sirius XM.
Oh boy.
Or maybe they did. I think they might have actually. I got to remember this. But they had to keep it very, very quiet, and they were scared.
Yeah.
They were absolutely scared that could be a problem if anyone found out.
E-Rock, comment?
I'm not saying it's E-Rock.
I know.
Not saying it's E-Rock.
I just want to comment.
Can I ask the guy?
Look, I even love when pigs look at me, sexually. It doesn't mean I want to. It doesn't mean I want to bang them.
Sure.
But if a two, like I'm walking, down the street and a two looks at me like that, I'm a little lighter on my fucking steps.
That's
I'm
amazing.
A little happier.
You're not calling the police?
Wait, dude, the guy on the phone. Are you married?
Oh, wow.
Dude, are you a married guy? Are you in a relationship?
Oh, yes, I am in a relationship.
Okay, so and you're a guy like I am. So do you just go out? Does your girl let you go out and fuck other women?
Ooh.
No. It's a fair question because and we all know this. Human nature for a man is to stick your dick in everything. So in your relationship, do you come home and go, "Hey, it's human nature. I can go out and just fuck other girls," or have you adjusted and taken the human nature angle and said, "Yeah, tough shit. It's human nature. I have to adjust because this is what I'm doing."
But you still want to.
Wanting is one. Yeah. No one says you can't want.
Exactly.
It's behavior. It's not thoughts that are being.
But there are certain people that think that they can actually stop.
You're absolutely right. Jimmy is absolutely right. Our human nature is to feel that attraction and try to find a way to procreate. If you want to go down to the very base of our instincts, right? And Jimmy's absolutely right. And the point that I'm trying to make is that in the workplace, when you see an attractive person, right, you're going and you're available, or you've made yourself available. You want to talk to that person, you want to get to know that person. That's absolutely fine, and that person, is going to be able to say yes or no. Absolutely, you're absolutely right. Now, if someone's a fucking retard and they hear the answer no, and they continue to pursue it, then obviously there is a problem. But the point that I think Anthony and Opie very
so eloquently put it.
Thank you.
Is that
fucking brilliant? When we want to be.
You cannot break human nature.
Right.
No, but
is absolutely insane.
Nobody wants to break human nature.
But you can tame it. You can't break it. But you can tame it and live within the laws.
Well, yeah.
I understand, but then the reality.
I think we all have common ground here. I think
where you're going with this is if you agree then that you cannot disrupt human nature. Now I guess we have to have offices that are either all male or all female.
No, dude, how come?
That's the only way to solve your problem.
You're not. No.
That's the only way to fix it.
Sir, you're not. My question was, how do you override your human nature to remain monogamous to your girlfriend? You've overridden human nature because your situation dictates that behaviorally you have to. You're in a relationship.
I override it because I'm a human being and not an animal.
Okay,
yeah, we're not talking about people that you want to fuck the people you work with. You can't even just look at them sexually. That's where this started.
But the excuse is being
how can you not be attracted?
That's where this started.
No one cares if anyone's attracted. No one's been punished for that.
It's a big leap to go with looking at someone sexually and actually having sex with them.
But it's about hitting on them or making them uncomfortable by being creepy. It's not about being. No one cares if you're attracted.
But that's subjective, Jimmy. That's subjective. If I was Brad Pitt, or someone who women generally found
What it
attractive,
was.
I could actually go to work and fucking do that every day.
Yeah, but we all have a certain commonality of behavior. No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. Good-looking guys do get sued for sexual harassment. A lot of times, it's probably better-looking guys that don't know how to handle no. Like, it's usually, I think uglier people are normally better at taking rejection and are more used to picking up on shitty vibes. It's the good-looking, powerful people, a lot of times, who don't understand that somebody doesn't want to fuck them and they can't handle it.
Yeah.
I would
Not always, but I'm saying
I would agree. I would agree with you, but as long as advances are also accepted in the workplace, which they are, right?
at times, sure.
As long as advances are still accepted in the workplace, and everyone's not like Lexi, then you're always gonna. This problem will always perpetuate
So
itself.
Lexi is being 100% legit. She just goes to work and does her thing. She's not saying anything wrong.
And she's probably, no offense to Lexi, she's not a special case, but she was sexually abused as a child. I would like to hear from a woman maybe that wasn't sexually abused as a child and how she feels in the workplace.
Oh, then I bet she's like Samantha from Sex and the City. Well, we went in the copy room.
Right.
I blew him.
I completely see why Lexi doesn't want, guys looking at her in a sexual way in general. I wonder, I don't want to say a normal or any of that shit, but a woman that wasn't sexually abused, if she agrees with Lexi.
Just remember the stats, guys. 1 in 4 girls. So there's a lot of women out there like me. So whenever you do look at a woman and you do her
Damaged baggage.
Nothing wrong with that. I don't care if you guys look at me and say that I'm pretty or I'm sexy or I have a nice body. Just keep it to yourselves. Look, admire, but don't act on it. That's when the sexual harassment line gets crossed.
All right.
If I'm not inviting you to come talk to me, if I'm not inviting you,
so it's up to you.
Yes!
Right.
Of course it is.
Thank you very much.
It's up
It's
to
in the
you.
workplace.
Guys,
Appreciate it.
But I don't.
I get it.
All right, but the discussion didn't start where it is now.
Hey,
I'm not talking
frigid
about.
bitch.
I'm not. I was never talking about over the top flirting in the workplace. By the way,
Right.
I just
That's
wasn't.
great. Thanks.
All right, buddy. Thanks,
All
William.
right, you too.
Thanks, Lexi.
Why don't you just fucking get it over with? right, Lexi?
Human nature is not it's like we all have it. I get it. I mean, I get it. Believe me, I'm a pervert.
Yeah.
I'm a fucking pervert, and I don't fuck with women here.
No.
You understand?
know
Like
better.
I'm one of the biggest perverts in this building.
You
I don't fuck with women.
You don't get shit on where you eat. Damn it.
But we're not. But that's not what we're really completely talking about.
Sure it is.
I really. I don't even talk. I don't even say hi to women in the hallway because I'm scared that can lead to some dumb thing. I'm not trying to have sex with women around here.
Look,
I'm not.
But you can't. You can't even really have an interaction with people at work anymore unless it's work related because you never know what it's going to be that gets you into the HR office.
My point on this whole thing was the fact that women sometimes think that they're changing the behavior and the mindset of men, and that when they walk into work and they're doing their job A1, just the greatest job ever, that they're being looked at and respected as nothing more than a good worker, and that just ain't going to happen. It's still an underlying bunch of bullshit to think that men aren't going to look at you as a sexual being. Now you'll get someone like Lexi that'll say, well, no, I know that's happening, but there's no place for it at work. But I honestly think that there are a lot of women that think it's not happening at all, even behind the scenes.
Well, that's,
Yeah, we pushed the discussion drastically forward. I
Yeah.
wasn't even talking about like having sex or any of that shit.
I mean, ladies, guys,
I'm
when
talking
they
about
go,
just normal interaction that men and women just happen to have during the day.
But
and when guys hang out
here.
together, they are going to talk about your ass, ladies. They're, even at work, you look around, make sure there's no other girls, and then go, holy shit, did you see whoever?
And that's why I didn't want to confuse it. Of course, if you're being aggressive to a woman at work, that's wrong.
You can grab her by the arm and shake her a little.
or just point at your dick and clear your throat.
This started with subtle shit like you can't say, "Oh, that dress looks nice on you today." You can't even say that anymore.
Yeah.
Let's say hi to Rosie in Jersey.
Ooh.
Hi, I hope you can hear me. I'm driving.
Hi, Rose.
Hi, Rosie.
Hi, I agree with you, both you and Opie and Anthony, 100%.
Oh, thank you.
No, with what, though? Because we kind of tackled a bunch of little things here today.
Well, as far as, how women dress in the workplace, and especially when you're working like in an all-man field.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Men are men. You can't control, their thoughts. And
remember, the discussion started with women dressing sexy at work, but we're not allowed to notice that. Mm-hmm. That's where this started. It went into a whole bunch of different places, obviously.
And when you hear about these sensitivity training things that go on at work, they aren't saying things like, "Hey, well, we know you want to fuck her, but keep it on the QT." They're actually trying to get you to not even think about it, which is just a lie. They're saying, like, women shouldn't be looked at in this way, gentlemen. She's just another coworker. And it's that's why everyone laughs at those fucking courses, because it's the utter bullshit of the whole thing.
Because it's not human nature.
We all know not to fucking, for the most part, not to go grab an ass and whipping your dick out. We all fucking know this. But we're still going to look at women as sexual beings.
You can look. No one says don't think of it.
Don't touch.
But you're married. Like, and Sam, you're married.
Yeah.
Like, if your wife's at work, how do you want her treated? Like, I've thought of that with my ex-girlfriend.
Yeah. If they look at her sexually, whatever.
Absolutely.
I don't give a fuck.
No one cares. Look at my chick too. Fine. But you don't. There's a point where you don't want her to talk to a certain way. Of course. You don't want a guy coming over to his desk every day.
Right.
But we're not even at that point.
No.
That's the whole discussion. We weren't going to that point. Of course, there should be rules in place at workplaces.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it's this notion that you can't even, like Ant said, think any sexual thoughts because a girl came in looking hot.
Right.
But I'm a dirty guy, and I've talked to plenty of women here, and I'm never afraid I'm going to get in trouble for sexual harassment. Never, because I don't say anything stupid to them.
Well, sorry, Jimmy, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, see, I don't do that because I just know, like, you can't do it, and it's fine. Human nature, fuck human nature. I just don't do it.
But we're a little luckier too because of what we do. It's a little more open-minded here. Not much.
I talk to these chicks like they're fucking lawyers. All of them.
Yes, I just nod to people around here because I don't know what people's switches are anymore, and hearing all these horror stories, HR horror stories, I just nod. I'm like, hi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but generally, if you talk to people like human beings, you're not going to get in trouble. People aren't getting in trouble for just being a human. I talk to girls all the time.
Oh, do you?
Oh, really?
What do you say?
There are so many people out there that think they were talking to a woman just being a human being, and we could take an hour phone calls that they got in trouble. And the things they got in trouble for would blow your mind. Because we've done this break.
Blow your mind.
We've done this break.
Some things
you think you're talking like just a normal human being.
Yeah,
but some people are just genuinely dumb and don't know what's like.
I'm not talking about those people.
That guy who called up a minute ago.
I'm talking about the average person that thinks he's going to work and just being a human being, and next thing you know, he's in human resources for the dumbest, stupid. We've taken these calls a million times. If you want, we could take a few more today.
That guy who just called up, he's not a dumb guy, and he made sense with what he said. Mm-hmm. But like the way he was describing it, it's like human nature is not. We all understand human nature. It's a woman's human nature to want to give birth and to be protected and to be cared. But when you're in work, you just got to act a certain way, and we all get that.
Right.
It is what it is, and everybody knows that, and it wouldn't be as strict if it hadn't been for companies ignoring things for so long and allowing it to go beyond. And you hear those horror stories, and you're like, how the fuck did a company let this happen?
You could also argue the point that, these women wanted to be part of the men's club there and get into the work environment that was predominantly male for so many years. And
they wanted to be treated. And again, I'm not Mr. Woman's rights, believe me. But people want to get in. They shouldn't have to just take what's coming to them because they want to get the same treatment as other people. That's not fair either.
Yeah,
let's talk to a couple more women because we don't have the vaginas.
Oh, nice.
DJ, a girl in Florida. What's up, DJ?
Hey, good morning.
Good morning,
DJ.
So here's the
Good
thing.
morning, you animal.
I am an animal. You know what? I am not. Look, I'm 43, not 20 years old anymore. But you know what? I work in a completely female-dominated field. I'm a nurse. And you know what? Yeah, I still want to be able to, when I walk into work, it's okay if you're looking at me. It's fine. You know what? God did not give me this body for not to be looked at.
Whoa.
You know what? By no means, am I perfect. I am not perfect. I'm heavier than I was when I was 20 and older. I have a little more gray hair. But you know what? I can still bring it.
Fat old broad.
She said she could still bring it, though. But my point was simple when this started. That just makes you feel good when someone looks at you sexually.
It does. You know what? Look, I'm married, but you know what? I'm not dead. You know what I mean?
Oh, boy.
And I can still appreciate a good-looking woman
Good
or a
deep
good-looking
chick.
man. You know, I'm not gay. I'm straight. But my point is that, you know, the industry, the perfume industry, the makeup industry, the clothing industry, it's all targeted to say, hey, you know what? You got tips, put them out there.
Hey.
You got a nice ass, put it out there.
You know, it's not
comment.
That's not. But we've seen a drastic turn in advertising, where they don't do the hot woman as much as they do the quote. I'll say it this way: hot guy.
Oh, yeah.
Like a hot guy with no clothes on is completely acceptable now on in ads.
Give us an example, though.
Yeah. But you do that shit with women, it's not accepted anymore.
Yep.
But you know what? That's because everybody's so freaking closed-minded. Playtex just started running in Victoria's Secret, you know, with the women with their bras, and they're showing the, the Victoria's Secret, the model thing that they do every year. You know what? Because it's still taboo. People still look at the body as a dirty thing and not as what it is. It is the human body. And Jimmy's right. You know what? Down to the cellular level, men need to do that. They need to spread their seed. I mean, it's unfortunately genetic. That's exactly what it is.
But when it comes to the human nature discussion, any guy that's married and is faithful, or in a relationship is faithful, human nature is that you're not faithful. Human nature is that you're going to go out and fuck a lot of other women. And in marriages and relationships, if you found a way to be faithful, then you have understood the difference between human nature and what works for this situation.
Right. But sometimes it's just all you need is to know that you're still sexually attractive to to other women. That's all, that makes you feel good, and that's all you need to get you through the day.
But people, I think women like that too. I just think a lot of times at work, when they're trapped in a fucking room with someone for 8 hours, they don't want it. And if they are selective about who they want it from, I mean, that's the way the world is. Some people you like attention from, some you don't.
The workplace just sucks. They've taken away all the little things that would help you get through the day. It just sucks now.
Well, stuff like the calendars and like a joke, that's where companies have gotten ridiculous.
Calendars,
like that's where it's gotten nonsensical.
American flags.
Yeah.
How about
Absolutely.
we're not even talking about just the sexual stuff.
Baby pictures.
Yeah, baby pictures.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Some women, they're barren and their wombs.
Some women can't
busted.
have children. We've had this call a few times over the years.
Makes them sad.
So they go to HR and go, Susie over there with that picture with her kids. That kind of makes me sad every day. So next thing you know, they make a rule: you can't even have family pictures in your cubicles.
Yeah.
They should have
We're
no
losing our
barren
fucking
wombs.
minds.
Yes. No barren.
Well, that's where companies are stupid. It's ridiculous. No balance.
Yeah.
There's no balance.
No, I don't believe in the company anymore. And I mean that just that's a sweeping statement.
Hawaiian Shirt Fridays are pretty fun, though, right?
Right.
Gotta admit.
I'm not talking about this particular company. I'm talking about all companies. I don't believe in the company at all. They will not protect you in the end. They will fuck you in the end. There was a time they would protect radio guys and everybody else, but not anymore, man.
Too many lawsuits and shit.
Right.
I think.
Yeah,
Big part of
but
it.
the lawsuits were brought on by. And again, I know that there's out of whack responses to innocent moments, but that's not what the lawsuits were. And when you read some of these cases, you're like, if this is the truth, how the fuck did any rational company think this was not going to bite them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy does this every day, and you leave him there.
People are obsessed with Jimmy with the creepy guy at the gym.
Oh, okay.
Jordan on Long Island, go ahead.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Hey, Jordan.
Hey.
First of all, my point completely changed from when I started out on hold. There's a guy in my gym, first of all, who I've nicknamed Looky Lou because he just cannot keep his eyes to himself. And of course, he's 6'4" with a giant mustache. If he was wearing like a trench coat, it would be even more appropriate in the sauna. But if the better point actually is, recently I went and bought a car, and I had a female salesperson, and she was purposely reaching across my lap to show me the features on the steering wheel, bending over. She was wearing low.
Sure, the dick shift.
Yeah, she's selling you something. She's smart.
Yeah. But Jim, I gotta
Well, she's using her sexuality to her advantage there, right?
Sure.
totally distasteful because my feeling was like, it's one thing if I'm in a bar and I'm hoping that she's going to reach across my junk and point something out. That's great. But if that was
It's
a
a
man,
shanker. It's a VD joke without the joke part. The pesky joke.
Was she pretty?
oh well, I mean, probably 15 years ago, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, but my point is, even if she's
Was she 18?
my point is, even if she's a pig and she does that move, I'm sitting there going, all right, man, that's kind of cool. Doesn't mean I want to have sex with the broad.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, it wasn't cool, and I'll tell you why. Because the whole time she's doing this, I'm saying to myself, if this was my girlfriend who was sitting there and it was a guy reaching across, I'm gonna put 5 across his lip. I'm not.
Whoa.
It wasn't
Your whole cock?
Put 5 across his lip. My God, put that on a shirt.
Go ahead, sir. Sorry.
They're saying you have a small penis. 5's small, right?
I was saying huge.
5's big. Oh, the Opester's doing all right then. Where are we, Jordan? All right, Jordan.
That would annoy you if a guy did it to your chick. Yeah, absolutely.
all right.
Yeah.
Jimmy, this one's for you. All right.
Oh.
Here you go.
Thanks, buddy.
Wow.
Well, I don't think we got anything accomplished here.
Well, we threw it out there, huh? Throw it against the wall.
This
With
guy
sticks.
This guy says in the 80s he almost got fired for sexual harassment, and he wasn't even talking to the girl. These are kind of the phone calls.
Jacking off on her.
Yeah, exactly. She couldn't. She was duct taped. What happened, sir?
We advanced the discussion forward, obviously, but I really was trying to keep it more in that subtle vein.
Yeah.
And maybe Bill has something on that. Bill, go ahead.
Yeah, back in like 86, 87, I was working at a factory, and we had a girl that worked down there, and she was a good-looking girl, but she had gone out with, probably 10 or 12 guys that everybody knew of.
A whore.
Exactly. So this other guy comes up to me, and he says, hey, if you got a chance, he said, would you hit that? I said, no, she's been with too many guys. I don't have no interest in that. And the next day, I got called into HR, and they said that I wouldn't fuck her because everybody in the plant had fucked her. And it went on for like a week. I had to deny. Almost, they were ready to fire me.
Wait, how did they know?
Yeah.
How did they know?
That guy, either he told her, I never did find out exactly how they knew. Either that guy went and told that girl that I said that I wouldn't fuck her because she'd fucked everybody, or he went straight to HR, which I believe
Jesus.
went to the girl. I think he went to the girl because he was trying to get in her pants, and he thought he was trying to, make his mark with
Did you kill him? Should have killed him.
Yeah, that's the problem. But he may have went to her and lied because he's trying to fuck her, and said that you were saying something worse and just gratuitously starting rumors about her. And then so basically somebody lied about you, but that's not a good example. People lie. I could lie and say that somebody here is stealing, and they'd have to call them into HR.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's how nervous HR was about it. I didn't even say it, and they didn't even want to hear my side of the story. They just automatically knew that, I said that, let's fire him.
So you got fired?
No, I never did. I eventually did for fighting. I beat a guy's ass.
How'd you not get fired? I
just denied. I just kept denying it. I said, nope. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. And they really didn't have any proof that I said it.
Right.
And I never did say that.
So you were accused of something, they took it seriously, and then you were able to prove your case.
Yeah. You proved your case by denying it, and you weren't fired. That's a horrible example, sir.
Outrageous.
That's what happened.
Yeah, but again, they had to ask you about it. You denied it, and maybe they were too overzealous about it, but they didn't fire you.
Yeah, but that was back in the 80s, too, when you could still pinch ass.
What are you talking about?
It's just...
what he's talking about is that's a nice little joke.
That was nice back then in those days. Say things.
Ron in Buffalo could explain why companies react the way they do. Go ahead, Ron.
Hi, Ron.
Hey, guys. I was just going to call and talk about how Jimmy is making the point with, married guys not acting on it. And the whole thing with it being companies get in trouble with the gray areas. And, you're pointing out, hey, you never would go ahead and cheat on your wife or whoever. But guys still look at porn. Guys still give a sideways glance to people that walk by, girls that walk by on the street.
Yes.
Well, that's the kind of stuff in the office where you really get in trouble.
And in a relationship. And in a relationship sometimes. There's a penalty for those things in a
Depends who you're
relationship.
going out with.
Absolutely.
I'm allowed to look at a woman on the fucking street without having to worry about it.
Okay, are you allowed to flirt text?
I don't want to flirt text.
I'm not saying you want to, but are you allowed to flirt text with a girl? Like, that's ambiguous. It's kind of... Or would you get in trouble for that?
We haven't... I don't even know because it doesn't come up. It's something I don't want to do.
How we get in trouble? I've gotten in trouble.
Everyone knows. Of course you'd get in trouble.
Hey, well, why are you flirt texting? It's something I just don't want to do. So it's never come up in our relationship.
It's human nature for me to want to flirt with girls because even though I'm not going to hook up with them, I want to feel attractive.
Right.
And the more you flirt, the more you're like, oh, this chick really is into me.
But that's the gray area. That you're not cheating and you're not saying anything overly, but you're flirting a little bit. You'd get in trouble. Like your wife would go like, "What are you doing?"
Man.
That all of us.
It's just never come up in my relationship.
But you know the answer to that. Like
not necessarily.
Okay.
Guys,
not necessarily.
That's the area where the gray area. The way the gray area exists is why companies react the way they do. It goes back to, obviously the laws were first written because people are grabbing ass and, doing ridiculous, hang your dick out, whatever. But when they wrote the law, as always, the lawyers screwed up and left something that's completely open to interpretation. The company I work for, we go through extensive sexual harassment training, and the phrase that's in the law is that you cannot create a hostile work environment.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
What happens there is lawyers interpret that, and that's where you get all this bullshit stuff. So
because it's kind of vague, you know.
What makes it hostile? Right.
It's kind of like the FCC, rules.
Yeah, a little vague.
They're always vague. I mean, there's a lot of gray area there. And
sexual harassment, the first inkling I ever got about it when I heard about it when I was like a kid was... here's the boss, the all-powerful boss in the office, telling a woman that he wants to do stuff to her to guarantee her advancement. That's where it comes from.
Right.
How it worked out to you can't hang a flag in your cubicle or put pictures of your kids in there.
Right.
Is ludicrous.
It's ludicrous.
Yeah.
Of course it's ludicrous.
Or you can't play ludicrous.
Thank you, sir.
It's totally fucked up and ironic.
Let's go to Mike in L.A.
Michael.
Yellow.
I was talking about Jimmy was the guy in the gym. I mean, if that was a hot tranny, he'd be happy with it. But because it's a creepy guy, it's the subjectivity of it. Like you said, it's too much gray area, and they're trying to legislate the gray area out.
I certainly don't want a creepy guy looking at me in that way, but I don't look at it as being vile. I just kind of laugh. It just makes me laugh.
That's what it is. Old dust cunt Lexi, she's probably a rotten lay, and she gets upset. But
unnecessary.
If the dude's if she finds the dude attractive, then she's obviously going to accept more of the flirtation of the.
Okay, let me ask you a question. The point I was making, dude. The point I was making was that I got how it felt to be looked at in an unwanted way, and it bothered me. Like. That's what the point I was making. Not if he was a good-looking chick or a tranny or whatever it is. So let's just say you're at work. Whatever kind of work you do. How do you... And I mean, for real, how would you feel if your boss, every time he called you into the office, was just staring at your cock? And I get, once or twice, what the hell? You're going to tell me that wouldn't want to make you pick up a glass ashtray and smash his fucking face?
Well, first off, I mean, it's a little flattering, he likes cock, but in all honesty, if it's that huge of a deal, that's your boss. That's different from a position of, well, if I don't... Like Anthony said, if you advance through the sexual harassment from your boss, that's a little different. But coworkers.
Oh no! Wait, hold on. You want to be a sexual being? You want to be looked at by certain people as a sexual creature. So you're fine if not in a joke way.
You lost all the weight, Jimmy, so you could be viewed better.
Of course, dude. But I'm saying at work, are you telling me it wouldn't bother you if every time you walked in, your male boss was flirting with you a little bit, and you knew he was, and it wasn't a joke, he was for real flirting with you? You'd be fine with that.
Boss or coworker?
Either or.
I'd be able to handle it.
But you'd be able to handle it.
I would be able to handle it.
You'd hate it.
Imagine day after day, right?
Day after day. It's for real. We're joking, but let's say Gary came, or whoever it was, or Blatt, or Mel, whoever you want to say, and flirted with you, and they weren't joking. Guys. They weren't being funny, and it was like a really weird, creepy, like flirty thing. You would want to fucking smash them.
Would I be able to keep my job without blowing them? Because then I'd be fine with that.
Yes.
And does it mean I get a nice huge raise? Yeah, I'd be all right with that.
Okay.
But if he moved into the next where you got to blow me or I'm firing you tomorrow, then of course not.
Okay, so
it's opposed to the women.
I wouldn't be happy about it, but I'd be able to handle it.
But it would creep you out.
I'd be able to handle it.
You wouldn't like it though. It would creep you out. You'd be like, "This is fucking annoying and awful." And this guy is saying things like, if he he'd complimented your body every time you walked in, and he wasn't joking. Dude, you look great in those
the
jeans.
fucking gym is starting to work out for myself.
There is a line between going in as a little victim and taking it every day and going to some agency that the company has set up. You walk up to them and go, hey, knock the fuck off.
Right.
How about you handle things like human beings
I like
in this
that.
day and
I would
age?
never feel like a victim, that's for sure.
But then, and you say something then.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you know the point I'm making. You'd hate the way it feels. You would hate it. I know I would hate that. If a guy, for real, a creepy one of the bosses was fucking, or even a coworker was flirting with me and and not being funny. Again, our environment, like you said, is a little weird because we're used to being fucking, we're hard to shock.
No interest. If you state the no interest and ask them to back off and they don't, then you have an issue. But if it's just a casual flirting or something, you might say something or lead to something back. And it's completely different. Like Oak said, guys want to fuck anything. If a hog tells you you're sexy, I don't want to fuck her. But
it makes you feel good for that moment.
Okay.
And of course there should be rules in place.
If it was a zero or a hog, I'd go fuck the hog. But women are so different about that. Oh, he's ugly. I don't like him. That's harassment. Oh, I fuck him. That's he's flirting with me.
And I'm not saying throw all the the rules out the window. Like if a male coworker is flirting with you and you fucking say, look, knock it off, and it's not my thing, whatever, and he continues, then of course you got to do something about it.
That's right.
Of course.
So you're saying
we're not fucking cavemen here.
You don't mind if your male coworker or your male boss was just because you have the same thing I do. Like I like to be looked at by certain people. Other people know.
If they stare at me every day, whatever. I don't give a fuck.
Okay, you don't. But I
don't give a fuck.
All right. Well,
but if he's flirting with me, then I would absolutely say something. And then if that doesn't go anywhere, then maybe I would have to deal with it.
But if he was staring at you, that would get
I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
I really don't.
I don't believe you, but I think that would drive you crazy.
It wouldn't drive me crazy. I'd be creeped out and stuff. But
right, exactly.
But I wouldn't give a fuck enough to go down to HR or any of that, is what I'm saying. Because you just know when you walk out the door, you're going to have to deal with shit every day.
But do you want to work 8 hours or 4 hours a day, whatever it is, being creeped out?
It wouldn't be.
We
4
do.
hours a day.
Look who I sit next to.
But you know what I'm saying, though?
Yeah, how many times have you went, ooh?
But you know what I'm saying, though. If it's for real, it would bother me.
But I'd be able to just handle it, is, I guess, my point. There's so many things you got to deal with as soon as you leave the house.
Minority dictating to everybody else.
It's not going to ruin my day or any of that crap.
It would. It wouldn't, but it would ruin my day if some guy was creepily fucking leering at me at work. Like, for real. It would ruin my day if it happened day in and day out. And he always found me
HR? Because that's the point here, I guess. Because, like I said, we all deal with shit. There's people around here that as soon as I see their face, it gets me annoyed. But it doesn't ruin my day.
As a guy, it's hard because I haven't had to deal with that. So I don't know if I'd go to HR. But if a guy was coming up to me every day and being flirty and being like, and it was a guy I didn't like or a guy I wasn't friends with or wasn't comfortable with, and I knew what he was doing, I might say something to him, or I might have went to Gary or to Steve and go, what the fuck is this guy doing every day coming up here? Like, how annoying is it when we're doing radio and you have to look out that, hold on, sir, hold on. When you're looking out that window and a guy walks up and throws a look in here. You don't, but no.
It bothers me until I don't see him anymore.
But it bothers you. It bothers me. It bothers all of us.
But then I don't think about it anymore.
But if it happens,
because
he's gone.
I feel a sense of pride that I could also, handle myself in these situations. That I don't need a stupid HR department to fucking fight my battles. I would handle it myself. I would fucking say, look, enough. Stop. What are you doing?
But you would say something. Okay, you would have that moment where you said something because it bothered you.
I would handle my own shit. Yeah.
What if it didn't stop?
I don't know. I have no idea.
You know what I'm saying? That's because if you handle it that way,
I certainly would avoid the person at work and all that shit.
That's
but
kind of.
Companies also allow relationships in the office, whether there's rules or not. I work for a company that's doing it right now, but we get honor code deal where you can't date employees, yet we allow it too. So it's so much subjectivity. Well, we're going to do this, or as long as a chick's feelings aren't hurt, there will be no issues. But when the girl's feelings gets hurt, now everybody's in trouble.
All right, Mike. Like I said many times during the discussion, we've pushed this discussion way further than where we started.
Yeah.
Like, here's another guy. The company tells them what cell phone ringtones they're allowed to use. Like, why is that a problem?
Probably because they got one from my app that went, pick up the phone, cunt. Pick up the phone, cunt.
Let's see what this is about. Mike, what are you talking about with ringtones? What's the problem with ringtones at your work?
What's going on, boys?
Or just say that.
Steve Miller, the Joker, that was inappropriate.
so I switched it to fat bottom girls. That was inappropriate.
Well.
You know.
Wait, why is it? Well, hold on. First of all, Steve Miller, the Joker. Why would that be a problem as a ringtone?
Because it stinks.
Yeah.
Oh, Midnight
Toker, a little drug use.
Oh wow.
I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't have any problems with it. I just find
why did they find it a problem? It's a pretty innocent song, except for the token
really
line.
You peaches want to shake your tree? Might not. I don't know.
Peaches, they're probably tits, right?
So they actually told you what ringtones you could have?
Well, they were saying that if I don't personally change the ringtone, I might have to be brought down to HR and explained business etiquette.
His phone's going, the house next door to me was sold.
Yeah, well, you can see where that's my point, though. It's like, okay, sure, some of these ringtones could be a problem, but it's the dumb ones like The Joker by Steve Miller.
Ridiculous.
And the other thing we got to add to this discussion before we take a break, a lot of this shit comes from middle management just being power-hungry douchebags, too.
Justifying their job.
We all know that.
That's the point. That's the point. The old days, your manager used to come up to you, or whoever it was, your coworker, say, listen, this is what's going on. Do me a favor, get rid of it. Now, the big HR hanging over your head. Everything you do, HR. So, it's getting crazy.
Here's a guy. Well, thank you, sir. Let me go to Nick in Ohio. We're trying to go to break, but there's some good calls coming in. Go ahead, Nick.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hi, Nick.
So I worked the shitty-ass fucking security gig for UPS about 6 years ago, and I had a supervisor, and the dude, he was gayer than fucking Paris. I mean, it was obvious. But I never said anything.
Wait, I've never heard that one before. Gayer than fucking Paris?
No one's ever said it before.
Gayer than Perry.
Gay Perry.
Oh.
I kind of like that. It's pretty funny. All right, go ahead, man.
Anyways, man, so I let that shit slide. I mean, I didn't like it. I didn't feel comfortable, but whatever. After about 2 months, the shit kind of started to escalate, and I could see the dude was trying to flirting, but he wasn't saying anything directly. I had a bad day. I came into work. I wasn't going to fucking take it. I finally told him, I said, hey, man, enough of the gay shit. I said, I can see what you're doing, blah, blah, blah. This fucker went and turned it around, went straight up to HR, filed a report basically saying it was harassment, that I was harassing him for being gay before I could actually go and, say something myself. So, whatever.
Oh, okay. So he probably cut you off by doing that. What's the word? When you strike first.
Preemptive.
Preemptive strike.
Yes.
Well, we all know we're all supposed to accept the gay now. You're not allowed to be against the gay, which is ridiculous.
That was a shitty job anyway, so fuck it. Hey, you guys have a good day.
All right. I'm not against the gay, but I think people, if they're against the gay, should be able to express that. I don't know why we all have to be accepting of that.
Through hatred and...
No, I don't mean it.
No, I'm kidding.
Once again, there's things, of course, that are completely unacceptable, but you're not even allowed to express that you're uncomfortable with the gay lifestyle or whatever.
Right,
that will get you in a shitload of trouble. I'm not talking about, violence or any of that crap.
Yeah.
Line 4. An HR lady?
Ooh.
Ugh, Christ.
Hope she's in an accident right now as she calls.
Hi, Tiffany, who works for HR.
Tiffany.
Hi, guys. I love you guys so much.
All right.
Oh,
whatever.
Sorry about my last comment.
I don't like anyone that works in HR.
Really, I guess I feel defensive, but it is annoying. It is annoying. It's very tough to run a business these days. The laws are very hard to enforce, but I will tell you, of all of the claims that I get, most of them are bullshit. Most of them we don't act on. We don't discipline employees. You guys may just hear about the more sensational stories. Like you said, if a guy pulled his dick out in a cubicle, you're probably going to hear about that. But the average claim I get is, a chick saying, hey, my boss sent me a text message and I'm uncomfortable with it. And then when I investigated, I found out that she actually texted him back. And that's usually how it goes. So I love my job. It's really entertaining. But there's the laws are in place for a reason, just like Jimmy's comment, because there were atrocities in previous times and we're trying to regulate the workforce and blah, blah, blah. But if you look at the law, it talks about what is reasonable. And, I've been through cases where there's juries, and when the juries have to make a decision, the judge says, make a decision based on what is reasonable to the average person. And the law also talks about if it's unwelcome or not. So even the law recognizes if it's welcome, it might just be okay.
What about no means yes? That's what that's the rule I like to adhere to.
Yeah, is it bad to have that tattooed on your forehead?
But yeah, like what's unwelcome and what's welcome, that's a big topic.
Well, at my house, we all know that.
If you think about workplace romances,
ooh, let's.
They always.
Sam Roberts.
They start off well, but then they usually end not so well.
Yeah, with the boyfriend coming in with fatigues on and a guitar case.
That's not well, yes.
What starts off as, romance and good times, then all of a sudden it's unwelcome. And then if you have, two coworkers that are, having a thing, and then one of them gets promoted, then all of a sudden it's a different context and the law changes.
I saw a rom-com like that. Oh, that's every rom-com, sorry. Forgot.
Yeah, or if one starts fucking somebody else at work and it just becomes a whole thing and no boss wants to deal with that.
It never works out well, yeah.
Dude, I look at it like this. I'm a hunk of shit. Like, I am a pervert. And I've never had to talk to HR here. And again, I know our environment is much different being radio guys.
Yeah.
But out there in the office, it's not that much different. And I've interacted with enough people, and I've talked to enough people, and I've waved at enough people, and I see hello, and I've never once had an issue. So if I can survive in a pseudo work environment, then the average guy who's not a complete bag of filth can too.
They're not surviving. Maybe we just have a different situation here, and we're a little luckier than the average worker.
How about this too? Let's go back in time again. And let's think before cell phones and social media. You're at work.
Can we go back to the late 60s?
I love going back there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because there's no cell phones back then.
Let's just go back.
I want it to be a little groovy.
Now, Jimmy, you say, you never had a problem. You know when you're walking the halls and stuff. But how much time really in a given work day are you actually back there? Right. Imagine 8 hours a day. You're in a cubicle environment. No social media. No real way to meet people, girls, especially for relationships and stuff. That type of environment was really kind of in place to socialize. You socialized more at work back then, talking to people, and you couldn't just go home and text a picture to somebody or your feelings like that. So you talked more at work. There's 8 hours of your day where you're interacting with people of the opposite sex. Maybe you're interested in one, so you put the feelers out there to see if they're interested. Now, that alone is looked at as a violation. Even putting your feelers out there to see if someone might be up to going out on a date with you and stuff, that is taboo in the workplace.
That's a good point about I don't have to be 8 hours. I mean, that's very true.
Yeah.
And I get to say what I want. I can email pictures and it's a big, we have a different situation.
Most of our workday, it's just us.
Right.
I mean, we interact with people when we go during the breaks. That's a total of maybe 20 minutes a day.
Yeah, not even. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you're saying you put out feelers, part of the problem is that most guys or people are dumb and push it beyond where it's wanted. Not all,
right?
But a lot of people don't take a hint, and they can't take when someone's not interested in them. And we all know a million people like that.
Oh, sure.
It's like it's obvious to everyone she's not interested. And it's also at work now because again, it's not just sexual harassment; it is the violent stuff that's happened at work over relationships.
Sure,
it just can't happen anymore because too many people have been shot. Too many people have had explosive fucking situations. The girl's scared to come to work because the fucking guy is just the employers don't want to deal with that shit.
Yeah.
So I know it's easy for me to say because I don't have to deal with it, but you just can't do it at work. Work somewhere with a fucking hot chick, or you find someone outside of work is the point of it. You have to.
Yeah.
I think that would be insane to the individual. You go to work and you're naturally attracted to someone and want to date them, and possibly marry them, and you can't say a word. That's
unrequited
crazy.
Love. The heartbreak. Yes, indeed.
Guy goes, I work with a guy who wears mascara at work, and how do I address that?
With a heart on.
See, whatever. That's the whatever stuff. That wouldn't bother me. Who cares?
Yeah.
Gives a fuck.
All right. Sexy.
Well, I think we're going to get some answers from our pal who's no longer with us. It's almost been 2 years, right?
Patrice?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Oh, my
He
God.
did a whole bit on sexual harassment.
He did, yes.
So I think that it'll wrap up this whole hour and a half nicely.
Nice little
It
package.
was almost 2 fucking years.
2 years, right around this time.
I didn't realize the anniversary was coming up.
Time to grow the beard again.
Fuck, man.
For my pal Patrice O'Neill.
Damn, man.
You got that, E-Rock?
Yes, I do.
All right, we're going to do that. We got one of our favorite people coming in today. I can't wait for Ian Halpern.
Oh, man.
I can't wait. It's been way too long.
He hasn't been on the show in quite a while, but he makes enough of an impact that a lot of people remember who he is, of course.
Yes.
Ian Halpern. His Highness.
His Highness
Hollywood.
His Highness Hollywood, Ian Halpern.
In
back
studio
to
for the first
show.
time in probably at least 2 years.
Google it.
Yeah.
It might be the first time since he brought in the dude with the fake French accent.
Oh, remember that guy?
What a character.
I forgot about that guy. And maybe some Jocktober, as Jocktober comes to an end in another day or two.
Man,
Hey, what's with the Scott and Todd interviewing Tyson? Did you see that? Did anybody see that?
Yeah.
People keep tweeting.
Kind of went viral too, man.
Why?
It was on
TMZ
TMZ.
picked it up for whatever
Because they asked him
reason.
about Chris Brown.
Oh, okay.
Jesus.
Chris Brown throw that punch or what?
I got a fist on my face.
I got a tattoo on my cheek.
I can't even feel my own nose.
Oh, Tyson punched you in the face. How did that feel,
that wasn't
Scott?
I can't even feel my own nose.
Oh, my
Is that the guy
God.
Chris Brown punched? Oh no, that's yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, why did you? What did you think about Amistad?
I want to see the boat movie.
Oh, that's
We
good.
might do a little Scott and Todd today, I think.
No, not today.
Tomorrow?
Well,
What day is today?
Today is Wednesday,
I was
30th.
planning on doing Scott and Todd today.
Yeah.
But yesterday, when they had Tyson in studio and everything,
Yeah.
Todd wasn't even there.
Whoa.
They didn't say he wasn't there, and they still did a phone scam as if he was. But he wasn't.
All right, so we'll do
Yeah.
something else today.
Yeah, I got another show today.
And we got to continue with the people we were doing yesterday. And turns out the broad's a fan of ours.
Oh,
And she tweeted about Jocktober.
yeah.
She wrote something like, I've been laughing my ass off all month about Jocktober.
Oh, no.
And then something like Karma's a bitch.
Oh, God.
I forgot the exact tweet. We'll find it after the break.
We weren't that mean to them yesterday though, because they weren't like nearly as bad as other shows. We weren't that.
Yeah, we almost said how hot she was.
Yeah, she was cute. And like
Yeah.
You can't
In
laugh
some
at
photos, she's almost
Yeah.
hot. You know, that's a compliment.
Yeah.
and you can't laugh at Jocktober and then do fake radio bits and then expect not to,
Oh, Sam, have a heart.
Yeah.
Be a
I
person.
mean, to the broadcasters that want to take us seriously
Or the
this
men.
month, just stop with the nonsense.
Yeah, that's
you don't
all.
need to do the fake phone calls. Do something else with that time.
Yeah.
It's pretty obvious now. Can't do the phony phone calls anymore. They're not legal.
Wait to hear today's show.
Oh no.
All right, we'll do that next, I guess. But first, Patrice O'Neill wrapping up everything we were talking about with sexual harassment.
Like, ladies, let's discuss harassment for a second. Let's just, you feel it a little bit? Like, let's just discuss it. Why can't I harass you? Sometimes. I can never harass you. Never. And I'm not talking about, ooga booga. Like, I'm talking just. At the job. It's unfair that I can't harass you at the workplace. Like, you looking how you looking, and I can't just a little something that has to do, like, you gotta be careful just to say, hey, you look beautiful today. That's how messed up the game is. I think you should be able to comment on any part of the body that you see. If you, I'm serious. What's your name? What's your name? Jeannie. Now, Jeannie, no disrespect, but if I work with you, I should be able to walk in and go, oh, Jeannie, beautiful titty meat you have there. And, because I see that, but whatever the scientific term is, I'm looking at Mr. A 4.9 grade point average. What's the science term for the titty meat? What's the actual? And it's not the cleavage. I mean, the cleavage is the space in the middle. I'm talking about the meat, the titty part. And I'm not being foul, just, whoa. You know what I'm saying? Just so I can go through the rest of the day without pretending that I don't see. Which you understand what I'm saying? I mean, let's work out a deal. Don't get me fired. Having women work with men, right, is like having a grizzly bear work with salmon. Dipped in honey, like so. Now you dip the salmon in the honey, right? Grizzly bears. And the salmon get to walk through comfortable with honey and fish and good morning, grizzly bears. And the grizzly bears is like, hey, you can't even growl like, what's up, fish? Oh my God, human resources. The grizzly bear just did grizzly bear stuff. So like, I can't even go, hey, good morning, fish, good morning. Oh, I can't touch it, like, oh, look at that. Oh, let me just get a little bit of that fish, a little bit. Get that honey, oh my God. Fish and honey, man, that's my favorite. Usually I kill fish and eat them and stuff, but I just wanted to just rub a little bit of that. God damn. That's oppressive. Like, you shouldn't even... And there's cameras everywhere. You can't do, like, weird stuff behind her back. Like... Why would it be disrespectful? I said, what's your name? Terrell. If I go, hey, Terrell, we work together. And I go, Terrell, hey, do me a favor. Let me know when you're getting up to go to the bathroom so I can sniff your chair. That's disrespectful because it's sexual, but that keeps me from being... Like, I think there should be a holiday, for lack of a better word, harassment day, but not, that sounds whatever, but I mean a day where I get to find out, like, because, and this is why it should be harassment day, because women get to be inappropriate sexually all the time. You get to be inappropriate. And when I say inappropriate, I mean say hello to me too close. Hi. Or some weird massage because you think we're friends and you, good morning, a little kiss, and he's just like, oh boy. And you think in your head, man, I wonder if I don't know. But harassment day allows you to be able to ask all year. I say the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. And it's a beautiful day. Flowers and everything. You buy her flowers. You just real cool. You walk up. You're respectful. You say, hey, how are you? You know, good afternoon, Terrell. Happy harassment day. And you just, like, say, listen, I was wondering all year if you would suck my dick in a broom closet. And you just be like, no, thank you, I'm not. And you be like, thank you, keep the flowers. I just thought I made a mistake. I thought you was a hoe all year. I was confused. I thought you was a hoe, but you're not.
The Opie and Anthony Show. The Opie and Anthony Show. Sirius XM. All right, well, that sucked. To hear the Opie and Anthony Show 5 days a week live on satellite radio, online on your phone or tablet, or even on demand, go to SiriusXM.com. Also, interact with the Opie and Anthony Show on Twitter, @Opie Radio, @Anthony Cumia, and @Jim Norton.